All right, so for today, I want to cover a few things, again, adding on to leadership, because leadership is empowering. Leadership is empowering. Good leadership empowers other people to do things they never thought they could before. What's your idea of leadership? What does empowering look like to you? What is that definition? If I said, what is empowering?
You can inspire people to do something.
Yeah? What do you think, Jeff?
When, like, for example, like a leader, like just with his words, like kind of put motivation into his followers and also puts motivation into himself at the same time.
What do you think of that? What does empowering look like?
Everything goes in there. There's the generous kind of empowerment, give person empowerment. It's like selfish kind of empowerment.
Yeah. I like the word give. It's a very good answer with give. Very good answer. Very, very good answer with give. What do you think, Madeline? Encourage. Love it. I love it. Encouraging. Empowering is encouraging. What do you think? What do you think, Hunter? Empowering. What is empowering?
You're like motivating people to do the right thing.
Yeah. You do the right thing, progress in the right way. Good answer. Good answer. What do you think, Anthony? Empowering? Is that? What do you think? If I empower, the soccer coach empowers his players, what does that look like? Yeah? What do you think, Sarah?
I think it's like a feeling, like an action to make yourself and then everyone better. I don't know.
I must say, I really like Jose and Madeline's answers. I really love their answers. It's very good. But empowering to me, and the leadership is empowering, is it's giving the power and authority to other people sometimes. As a leader, you can't just take on everything, but you're giving the power and authority to other people. You're giving them the influence. You're giving them the determination, the self-determination to get something done. So if I say, to Quentin, hey, this is what I need you to get done. This is something that we really want to get done as JAG program. I'm going to put you in charge of it. And I give him everything he needs to get it done. I give him all the resources. I give him all the tools, all the instructions, all the money. I give him anything he needs. Hey, whatever you need. He might feel a little more empowered to get it done. Eventually, I want him to have the self-determination to get it done himself, not just because I asked him to do it, because that's what true empowerment is, where you ultimately feel like as a follower, as a person under a leader, hey, I will do this because I love it now. I'm not doing it because I'm being forced to do it or I'm being told to do it because of a money thing. No, I'm doing it because I'm self-determined to get it done myself, because it aligns with my interests, my passions. So you want to be empowering as a leader. You certainly do. Empowering versus motivating, though, I'll touch on it real quickly, and I'll put up some examples. I'm not going to touch on them all. But empowering versus motivating, it is different. So empowering, again, gives the ability or power to someone to get something done. You're giving them the empowerment, you're giving them the encouragement, giving them the resources to get it done. Motivating is just sometimes giving them the reason to do something. So I can say in any job, obviously a lot of people do things for money. That's the motivation for a lot of people to get a job done. Not necessarily the richness of turning in a project and having that happen, but the motivation is money. Okay? And so money only goes so far. Let's be honest, it only goes so far, because at the end of the day, what if money dries up? What if the great bonuses dry up? They did a study with a group of people to see, hey, how does people work change based on certain factors? So they said, obviously, when people are paid more, they have more vacation days, they have better benefits, you'd think that would encourage people to get better work done. It certainly did, but then they also found that when that was the sole reason for people to get the job done, that when that went away, when there was less vacation days, when people had to do cutbacks in organizations, hey, we got to decrease your pay a little bit. Hey, we got to decrease your vacation time because we had to cut people, and so now we have less people to do more work. people not only had less impetus to get the job done and get it done well, they lost the love for the job. Because they based their love of the job solely on the money, the benefits, the vacation days they got. And so when leaders empower other people to get things done, not just because of the money, the benefits, the vacation days, they're going to be more productive in the long run because people are going to buy in for the love of the job and what they're doing, not the love of the money, the benefits, and the vacation days. And so empowering people to get the job done, besides those ancillary factors, is huge. So you got to give people the right resources. I mentioned that a few times. To empower people, you have to give them what they need. If you don't give them what they need, they will turn on you as followers. You also have to affirm and recognize when warranted. So Madeline, Hunter, Quentin are doing an outstanding job today. Doing an outstanding job today in terms of being attentive and being a part of the class. When I affirm and recognize that, they're going to be more likely to do better things for us as a group. Proven fact. It's just how things work. But you have to know when it's warranted. Every day I congratulated you guys for walking in on class on time. Every single day. Like I started just shouting and raising my voice and hooting and hollering every time you walked in on time. By day probably 2, but certainly by day 3 or 4 or 5, you would get very like, really doing this again for us being on time? Yeah, like if I just walked in, Anthony walked in, I was like, Anthony, great job, on time again for the 3rd day in a row. Like people would be like, really? Like that's kind of okay. We got it. He was on time. So you have to pick your spots. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like, if you think about it, the way it kind of sounds like he couldn't do beforehand.
Mhm.
So like it almost sounds negative.
Yes, that makes people feel belittled. Like I didn't think you could ever do this, but wow, look at you go. And so as a leader, when you affirm and recognize people, you need to pick your spots. Otherwise, it wears off after a while. People just are like, we've heard this same thing over and over and over again. He must just be like Oprah, throwing out positive reinforcements like it's candy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to pick your spots. Empower with the right amount of control, and you have to have a trust factor. If the leader doesn't trust the followers and the followers don't trust the leader, it's going to be bad things, because they don't feel empowered. There's lots of people working a job today that are hating their leader or boss, saying, man, the company, the boss, the leader wants us to get all this done and make all this money and do all these great things, but they never give us the right resources. They tell us they want all this done, but they don't give us what we need to get it done. If I coach basketball team, I tell them, this is what I want you to do, this is how I want you to do it, but I took away all their shoes, took away all the equipment, took away all the video that would help them be better at it. They would be like, you want us to get this done, but you don't give us what we need to get it done. We need the proper equipment, we need the proper resources, we need to be able to watch things and learn from it. As a leader, you got to give the right amount of things that your people need, so that way there's trust. You don't have trust, bad things. And then only secure leaders give power to others. If you are a secure leader, only then will you be able to say, hey, Sarah, hey, Luis, hey, Jose, here's what I want you to get it done, and go ahead and get it done. I'm not going to worry about, my job as a leader of trying to complete everything. I'm going to allow you guys to get the work done. And so as a leader, then if you are secure enough, then you will give away the power to other people. It's very important. There's 3 things with an empowering mentality. There's a fist. No, not a fist to punch somebody, but a fist to say, as a leader, I'm not just one finger. I'm one finger as a leader. I can't do it on my own. I can't, if I'm going to punch through this wall, which maybe I'd love to try, but I can't do it with one finger. If I'm the pointer finger, I'm the thumb. I can't do it. But when I combine my fingers, and now it's a fist, I can do some damage. I'm not telling any of you to punch anybody, because that's not what I'm saying. But as a leader, you need to unite your people to be empowered to come together. Amazing what happens when you do those things. So you are better together than separate. You also have to have great followers. You have to create followers with empowerment. Let's be honest. A good leader is only as good as his followers. You are only as good as your followers. How's your followers on your phone? You're only as good as your followers. A good coach is only as good as the players he has. Bottom line. You can be a really great leader, but if you don't have good followers who are also productive, it's not going to work out. There's also a weird twist to this too. As a great leader, your job is not to just create followers, but to create leaders. Just because you think, I'm not ready to be a leader yet. No, you are. Trust me, I think you are. But as a leader, your job is to create more leaders, not just create more followers. Not to say, hey, look at all the people behind me. No, you should want to create more leaders. That's what a really great leader does. An average leader, a decent leader, creates some followers that will follow him to thick and thin. But a really great leader will create more leaders on top of that. You look at any organization. I'm watching the Alabama training data right now. I know it's not, maybe you might not know what that is, but they're a football team. But Coach Saban, their coach, is a really great leader. And he talks about, man, everyone wants to get a part of us. Everyone wants to take people who work for us because they want to find out how do we do things. And they believe that, hey, there's been a lot of leaders that have been created through our program. And finally, you got to create some excitement as a leader. You might see a lot of Little League World Series happening right now. There's a lot of excitement. As a leader, when you create excitement, you create people who feel empowered, who want to do the work. It's amazing what happens when people feel excited about something. It really does. When they feel excited to partake in it, they are going to go through thick and thin for you as a leader. So you have to create the excitement. There's a quote Muhammad Ali was asking about, belief and excitement. He said, when you create the repetition of belief, when you create that repetition of excitement and buy-in, the outcomes are unbelievable. I'm paraphrasing kind of what he said, but the outcomes are unbelievable. So when you create that belief and excitement in other people, you will be astonished at what happens. The product, the wins, the change that happens. So 3 things that you have to have with an empowerment mentality. And these are some reminders I wanted to put up for you. Okay? You got to smile. Saw that in the video. I don't have to go on with that. You have to have positivity. That's been obviously a main thing that we talk about almost every day here with leadership. Gary Vaynerchuk has a great quote. What's the alternative when talking about positivity? As a leader, if you aren't going to be positive, what's the alternative? You're going to be negative. You're going to be dismissive. You're not going to be empowering. You don't want to choose the alternative. You want to choose positivity. You want to challenge people. To empower people, sometimes you got to challenge them and say, hey, you know what? Okay, this is the standard I need you to get to. I need you to get here. You might think you're coasting right now is just fine, but I need you to meet this quota. I need you to hit this mark or hit this time or hit this amount of commission. You got to challenge people. You also have to be good with ingenuity. It's amazing what happens when you say as a leader, here's what you need to get done, go work on it, and they come back to you with something outstanding. Trust your followers here. Trust your followers. You also build camaraderie. Again, the fist mentality. When you empower other people, you create a unit that is stronger together than they are separate. And so as a leader, you are the organizer, you are the person that corrals all those people together, but that camaraderie cannot be broken once it's established. So people should already know what your standard is, because once you have a standard and you praise that expected behavior, it passes everybody else. Everybody understands this is what the standard is. And then you get the repeated behavior. So if I tell Anthony every day, hey, you're doing a good job at this, you're going to do a good job at that, he'll more likely repeat that same behavior because he understands that that's what I'm expecting of him. You also have to make sure the praise is natural, not unnatural. It's not just, this is boring and repetitive. And then it's manipulative. I like this, when you back certain behavior as a leader, you're more likely to get that same response over and over again. So as a leader, when you empower others for the right reasons, so that way you get that same repeated behavior over and over and over again. And then it becomes natural habit by people. When you empower some people so much to do the certain things in life, they will just repeat it because it becomes natural for them to do.
Fight! Water sucks. Gatorade is better. Good. Use it on field. Gatorade not only quenches your thirst better, it tastes better too, idiot. idiots. You're drinking the wrong water. Gatorade. H2O. Gatorade. H2O.
Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Water sucks.
No, stop.
It really, really sucks.
You're bad people.
As a leader, what would you do with $1 million to improve the lives of others? I got 2 pieces of candy here. What's in here? 2 more pieces. Hold on to it. Don't eat it. You deserve it.
I'd probably donate to Africa.
But everyone's donating now. What do you think, Jose? Put you on the spot, I know.
You could try to donate it to certain
Charities?
yeah.
I love it. I love it. What do you think, Madeline?
You put animals from animal rescue.
I love it. Animals. Animals always need help. Africa. Everyone's given to Africa. Animals need help. What do you think?
Like, for example, like visit homeless shelters and just kind of see what people's stories are and just go from there with it. And try to help them out if you can. Not like, oh, well, I understand that you just lost your job. Here's $10,000. Like, nothing like that. Just like something to like help them get them out of that shelter or something. Not like to the point where slum or out of living out in slums to almost millionaire. What do you know?
Almost.
Not a bad idea. What do you think, Hunter? What do you think? Million? You think home? What would you do differently? What would you do?
I mean, deal with that.
So you can use your personal story.
So when I see stuff like that, it not only affects me because I know how it feels, but I know how others feel when they see that. So I'd like to help boost them and like kind of get them back in a comfortable place.
So I definitely go with Hunter's idea of personal experience. Sorry, Josh. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, well, I think maybe like kids in foster care and stuff like that, like kids that don't have their families.
We gotta help the animals. We gotta help the animals. What do you think? Any other ideas? What do you think, Emily?
There's always a lot of money that's being donated to like children that are sick or whatever, but the parents are also struggling. So like helping the families.
The families, yes. Yes. What? Great idea, Emily. What do you think, Louise? What do you think, Quentin? What do you think? $1 million to help improve people's lives. What could you do? $1 million. Say what?
Groceries.
Food, great. I mean, everyone needs food. Everyone needs food, Anthony. And the animals.
Donate to places dedicated to the research of stem cells.
Medical research. What?
Give people Gatorade.
No. Again, the animals need help. People's stories can make an impact. I like it. Charities, great thing. Anthony's, Josh's. But Hunter's idea is better. Hunter's idea is better. I like it. The personal impact story. You might have noticed some people have candy. Some people didn't have candy. I like Hunter's idea a lot. He also happened to have candy. I liked Jose's idea a lot. He also happened to have candy. The animals. Love the animals. Oh, she just happened to have candy. So, I asked you the question, with $1 million, what would you do to improve other people's lives? Josh, I kind of ignored your idea. You said Hunter basically had the similar idea.
I had a personal part to it.
How did you feel when I kind of just sided with Hunter's idea more than your own, even though it was very similar in a sense, the same people group?
The personal part, like, I didn't think
He's saying-
the personal part.
He's trying to get to a point.
What
here.
about you?
I know what
I'm
you're
just
saying.
getting to a point, it's just, that's my stance on it.
I mean,
Kind of.
yeah. You thought you had a good idea? So, those of you, who, I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't give some of you candy. Maybe that impacted you a little bit. You're like, really? I didn't get any candy? Like, Jose is great, but I would like some candy too. Maybe that impacted you a little bit. At the end of the day, you realize maybe you didn't feel empowered to be a part of the discussion. If we would have kept talking about this for, the next half hour, the rest of the day, coming up with ideas with what to do with $1 million. Pretty credible thing, but think about it. Would you have felt more likely to keep talking about this thing if after I immediately turned you down? No. There's no way. You would have been like, I thought I had a great idea, help the children of Africa, and instantly I got dismissed for animals. Without even going into it any further. Why? Great ideas, helping certain people. Food is a good idea. I went with that. I went with Hunter's idea of personal experience over Josh's. Josh brought up some really good points. They had some really good ideas. But instantly, by me kind of going to Hunter's, he's going to be like, you know what? If all we're going to do is side with Hunter's idea, well, why should I keep thinking about all these ideas and details and ways we can help people? Jose had a great idea about charities. He mentioned just charity. He didn't say a specific charity yet. Josh kept going on and on and on about this and that and the other, but I sided with Jose more. Seriously. People do that. Leaders do that. People do that in organizations and businesses. And by doing that, you don't feel empowered. You don't feel empowered to keep working on it. Now, I might have empowered Hunter or Madeline or Jose and Emily and Quentin by what I said, because I was like, man, great idea. I love it. I love it. And now, guess what they're probably doing? They're taking their simple idea and maybe in their head expanding on it, working on it. What ways can I do this more? What charity could I impact? What animal group could I work with? You think of those things that you didn't think of before because I said, hey, that's a great idea. So your level of thought went up. The people who I kind of downed on, your level of thought just instantly shrank. To like, seriously, I thought I had a good idea, but nothing. That is it. That's empowerment a little bit too. To help others raise their opinions. We don't want to do that as a leader. You don't want to say to this person, hey, great idea, let's keep working on that, and to this person, you know what, I'm going to kind of ignore what you have to say. Good point, but I'm going to ignore it. You don't want to do that. So empowering includes. It includes, not excludes. It listens. It doesn't dismiss. Doesn't mean you can't eventually say, hey, we're going to go this way. I could have kept hearing what Hunter and Josh said for the next hour, and then eventually maybe I would have said, you know what, Josh, after hearing things and talking things out, I think we're going to go the way of personal experience to help the homeless people. Then, hey, at least you would have said, you know what, I wasn't instantly dismissed. I was at least, my thoughts were heard out. I feel a part of the conversation. And maybe we take some of Josh's ideas to use in what we do. So it listens, it doesn't dismiss. And then finally, it encourages, that word came up, it encourages and inspires, it doesn't discourage. You got to take note of that as a leader. It doesn't mean eventually, again, I side with one or the other, but you can't just instantly throw people under the bus. Because those people are your followers. And if you want to create good followers, you have to empower other people.